I will never be Zulu or man enough. Gay, skinny, big-headed and undignified Zulu boy are synonymous to my identity. I always knew I would question my identity someday, but I never thought a day would come when I'd be forced to refuse it. Unlike the other South African Zulu men, the dominant ethnic group in South Africa, I don't have a deep voice, broad shoulders, an authoritative or bouncy walk or posture. This became very evident on my first day in high school. I've always sought to fit in into a crowd, changing my walk or faking a deep voice because of the fear of being rejected, misunderstood and ostracized. It was my first day of high school, and among the newbies, I had a very conspicuous walk for a run-of-the-mill Zulu boy. My hips swayed each time I walk. I heard the feet crunch in the ground, and suddenly, a group of senior Zulu men surrounded me. Immediately, I toughened up. I didn't want to weep like a little child. My heart was on a marathon with no sign of giving up. You little fag, is that how a Zulu man should walk? I was forcefully questioned and I could smell marijuana on their breath. Are you sure you're Zulu? Where have you seen a Zulu man swaying his hips like you do? You're not a man. You're not a Zulu man. I stood there like a tree planted near the river, constantly blown by the air but never uprooted. I couldn't fathom whether my manhood, ethnicity, birthright and my whole being were being snatched away by a stranger, somebody I have never ever seen. The guilt, shame and persecution I felt allowed me to find a gateway between them, enabled me to sprint off to the bathrooms. They remained where they were, but I could still hear their voices echoing all over the corridor. It was as if the school had paused and made a way for this undignified Zulu boy to pass. The guilt, persecution, and shame I felt allowed me to find a gateway between them, enabling me to sprint off to the bathrooms. They remained where they were, but I could still hear the voices echoing all over the corridor. It was as if the school had paused for a while and made a way for this undignified Zulu boy to pass. I slammed the door of the bathroom, sat on the dirty mud-colored tiles, my head against the wall, and I wept. I wept more than the day my father was imprisoned forcefully for a crime that he didn't commit. It was as if I was hit with a golf stick on the spine. More than that, I felt like a criminal for being who I am, a criminal for believing in my identity. To this day, I still wonder if a walk defines one's sexuality. If there's a way a Zulu man walks, then somebody should enlighten me about it. Does the fact that I sway my hips when I walk make me less of a man? Does this make me less of a Zulu man? Should I blame it on either watching every season of America's Next Top Model or frequently listening to Shakira's Hip Don't Lie? Because I certainly have been accused or persecuted for who I am. I hopped off the ground after weeping. I decided not to be a victim anymore. The thought of permitting a stranger to define me enraged me. I was scared, but the glimmer of light that penetrated through the window gave me hope. It gave me the courage to define myself. I might be able to slaughter a cow, be a shepherd to my uncle's sheep, or proudly sing my clan's praises, everything that a typical Zulu man can do. But that is not enough. That is not enough for me to call myself a Zulu man because I walk differently and thus I can't be Zulu. I refuse to be categorized. I refuse to be a typical Zulu boy. I don't bounce when I walk, my hips sway. This is who I am. Since that day, I have learned that I am more than just a Zulu boy. My identity is not dependent on people's perceptions about me. I thought my bullies ended that day, but until the 10th grade, I was still a victim. Well, I was a victim according to them, but in my mind, I was liberated. But the guilt and rejection I felt enabled me to find solitary time and redefine myself even more. And it is for that reason I am neither Zulu or man enough. I am human.